You're listening to Band Practice with Matthew and Krebs. Rock out with your cock out.
So that's our intro music.
Okay, all right. That's your intro music. It was very dramatic.
Yeah. That was
Calero.
Yeah, that was contributed to us by a buddy, Joey Calero.
Okay.
I thought you knew him, or I think I assumed.
It's, man.
Because didn't he also work at a different... or?
Calero used to work at Sam Ash in the drum section
that's right.
for years and years and years and years and years. But now
Okay.
he moved up to Seattle.
All right.
And dude, he got a job working AC repair for the school board up there.
They need air conditioning in Seattle?
Apparently so.
Okay.
He had to learn heat, too. Because he knew AC from down here. Because that fucking knows... Like, he's this guy that you'll hang out with. It's like, yeah, I work this, I work this. He'll work like 8 different jobs that are not connected. We're like, what else don't I know about you? What the hell?
I thought about doing that when I was a young man. AC&R.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a guy who lived in the apartment complex where I was in a, as most dudes are on the band practice podcast. I was in a band in high school. Go figure. Heavy metal band, Torment.
Of course.
With a guy named Jason Lefebvre and another cat named Mark Marusak. And then we had Greg was the other guitar player, and then there was another cat, I think his name was Sean, that kind of made their way through. Anywho, we would practice, and then we'd go over and party at the manager's house. A bunch of 16, 17-year-old boys with a 40-year-old guy buying his beer and other thing, and, nothing untoward happened other than we got drunk.
I was going to ask.
No, nothing like that.
Because nowadays, this usually ends with Kevin Spacey.
No, nothing like
Bryan
that
Singer.
happened.
Yeah, right.
No, nothing like that ever happened. He would there would always be older chicks there, what we now call MILFs.
Yeah.
He would hit on them, and he did rather well. But this 40-something-year-old hippie guy in the late 80s who's associating himself with a bunch of 17-year-old heavy metal dudes. Mm. So, there was some crossover there. There was some crossover with, we had 24, 25-year-old chicks that would come out to shows and check us out. And be like, oh, you're so cute and dangerous and whatnot. And then, of course, Stan Plosky, the manager of Torment, would, when he could stand up straight, would just hit on them unmerciful. And I love him for it. I loved him for it. But to bring it back to the point, right next to him lived this cat who was an AC&R tech. And this guy, for a little, 16, 17-year-old Wesley, looked like he had it all. He had his own place. There was a different chick there every night of the week that I saw him. He had some different girlfriend there. Had all the toys that you would want. Nice car, had a motorcycle, had a decent little guitar, and always had weed. So I was like, that's the life, man.
That's what I need.
That's it. What do you do? And he's like, I fix air conditioners. So I was seriously thinking, this is it. This is the life for me. I'm going to do AC&R. And then when I was in the Navy, that was actually offered to me as something I could learn to do. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah, another veteran.
Yeah.
We're pretty well represented thus far. We had the Viking was what, Army?
He was Army. Jesse was Army.
Jesse's Army. Air Force.
Marines.
And the Navy. So finally, you've saved the best for last.
That's it.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, you'll cuss me on another. And you're like,
We're going out of our way to not invite any coasties.
Okay.
Well,
because
they're not in the DOD.
I have a guitar student who's a retired Coast Guard. He's
Oh,
actually
really?
pretty cool. Pretty cool. He, there's an older cat named Jerry. Nice guy. Try not to just go with the sailor thing and just leave it at that. Yeah, sailors. And we let that matzo ball hang out there and just don't talk about the elephant in the corner.
I don't actually bash them too much because a lot of them actually do deploy. When I was in Iraq, I met them. And I asked them, I'm like, you're in the Coast Guard. Like, you're nowhere near a coast. You're in the middle of nowhere. Is that weird? He goes, you're in the Air Force. How often are you actually on a plane? I'm like, that's a good point.
I just can't wait to get our first Space Force veteran.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I'm hoping to enlist and become a Jedi in the Space Force. It's going to be a good time.
We just don't want the Marines to go first because you're going to fuck whatever aliens you
What are you
find.
talking about,
wrong with
man?
that?
You've seen Aliens. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. Space Marines, man.
What's it, the bug hunt? What was that one?
Oh, it's Starship Troopers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that's what you want.
Would you like to know more?
About what Starship Troopers are? Who was the author of that?
I don't know. I know he was like a big
He's a big
proponent
fascist.
of
He's a big
fascism and
fascist guy.
socialism.
Oh yeah. That's something. Well, no. Did that come across at all? Was it violence is the ultimate power from which all other power extends?
But that's how you deal with fascism. You just make it ridiculous, and you put Neil Patrick Harris in it.
That helps.
Fucking Doogie
That
Howser
helps.
was in that.
But he played himself. He played. He was like going after the brain bugs and whatnot. And,
Yeah,
it
and,
was, of course, I'm the smart guy. But listen, man, you can't knock MPH. Here was a dude that was a child star, and now is one of America's most beloved homosexuals.
Absolutely.
I mean, hell, dude, I saw this guy doing the Christmas thing at Disney. And he's like, "Oh, my husband, and I'm here with my child, and we just love Disney." And it was great. They had the chorus stuff and this, that, and going on, and NPH just killed it.
He's a great actor. He really is. He did
ever-
when he played, was it Barney on How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
He played the misogynist heterosexual guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like he nailed it.
That's why. That's why if I ever see him, I'm gonna bitch at him, because when he came out, he ruined my entire delusion of ever fucking meeting Barney Stinson. What? He's not
Right.
real? You son of a bitch.
You weren't a Judas Priest fan as a young man?
No, that was.
Because we already went through this with Rob Halford.
Did you?
It's like he was a what?
That's actually.
Oh, I guess,
That's actually
the
funny.
leather,
Yeah.
the spikes. Oh.
But nobody noticed. He got like an entire generation of people to wear like leather and spikes. By the way, I'm gay. Damn it.
Yeah. Now when I listen to Eat Me Alive, it takes on a whole new meaning.
But no, but that's awesome because like Freddie Mercury did the same thing.
Well, he
Pretty effeminate guy, but amazing showman, amazing talent.
he didn't outright hide it though. Like
No.
he would get asked about it, and he was like, he would just avoid the question, and he wouldn't come out and say no or.
But
what
it
you-
was a different time.
Yeah.
At that time, it was still, I believe, considered a mental illness.
Yeah.
And over there, across the pond, they would like
Put you in
lock
jail.
you up and force you to take drugs and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, what's his name? The gay writer from the early 1900s.
Which one?
Pick one.
From England. Goddamn, this is gonna
Your
bug.
dad?
He wrote. I actually haven't met him yet. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
No, fuck. He wrote. Oh, this is gonna bug me. But let's move on. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna remember in about 3 minutes.
Didn't this all start off with me wanting to be an AC&R tech? How do we?
Yes.
We got really highbrow there for a minute.
This is exactly.
Welcome to band practice.
Welcome to band practice. This is how it works.
Yeah,
we just go.
when Craig was on the show, I kept noticing that it's like, okay, we got the trunk of the conversation, and here we go on a branch. We're going to talk about this for a minute, and then somebody's got to bring it back home. And when you asked me to be, and I was like, I'm going to make sure that we stay on the path of the straight and narrow, and you can tell I mean it because that right there, that's a real sound effect. That's not one of them canned special effects that you get there down at Walmart. No, that one takes effort.
We pride ourselves on having no sound effects.
Bro, you just had some. Right? We're going to tell you, you got the bonus plan when you brought me on.
Yeah, we didn't actually have the only thing we wanted to talk about with Craig was conspiracy theories. That's the only thing we got into. And
Why? Why?
because it was
funny.
fun.
No,
Yeah.
that's it. Spin the monkey up and watch him dance.
But no.
No, he was very
no,
graceful.
He was the
yes,
most-
He knows his stuff.
He was like the most sane conspiracy theorist I've ever heard. Like,
And
okay.
that's how he gets you. That's how he gets you.
I mean, like, I even said on the podcast, I was like, I'm not sold. But he was very adamant about the V-neck T-shirt.
Man, yeah.
And some of the
He's-
stuff, and I give him credit for like some of the stuff that is genuinely weird, like the perfect bullet, like the bullet that killed Kennedy, like fell onto the gurney and it was like immaculate. That's a weird thing. I gave him that.
But I don't think Oswald could have done the shooting job that he did. Not with a bolt-action rifle, through foliage, at a moving target.
Matt,
It wasn't just a moving target; it was a predictably moving target at a
Well, okay, so
Clear day.
So on a beautifully clear day, on a bolt-action rifle, you could pull that off. Absolutely,
especially if
if you've been trained and you work at it. I mean, no Joe Schmo's off the street's going to just go pick it up and
with
go
the
do it.
Sears bolt-action rifle. We're not
Doesn't-
talking about a precision piece of military hardware here.
Doesn't matter if you can
This
take
is
any
Grandpa's
weapon.
squirrel rifle. I mean, come on.
If you take any weapon and you train for it,
Oh, sure.
you can do it.
Sure.
It is absolutely obtainable.
All right. And therein, there still lies the mystery. I just, man,
And I'm not saying that's the official story is
well,
what
yeah,
I'm going
you
to go
can't-
with. I don't know.
Who the fuck qualified you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right up there with Craig and his V-neck T-shirt. You know?
I mean, I don't know what happened.
We'll never know. And here's the thing. Here we are, about 40, almost 50 years down the road?
Oh, and we have V-neck T-shirts now.
And that's trailerage. No, I was going to say, I mean, does it matter?
And
Does it
YouTube,
matter anymore?
No.
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 And the point that I think one of the points that I made to him was like, because there's all this talk about how like the CIA did it or NSA or whoever else was around, but if there was a massive conspiracy theory, someone would have said something. Someone would have come out because not that many people can keep a secret.
I beg to differ. I used to think the same thing. I used to think the exact same thing, but we absolutely can't. And the Manhattan Project proves that.
And
Not only was it a giant
they
secret.
kept them all isolated out in the middle of nowhere.
but that was a secret of
No,
things nobody thought to look
It
for.
was-
No one had done that before.
People were working on this. I think they said it was something like 100,000 people were involved in the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, but
And
left-handed, and it was so compartmentalized.
everything
Nobody
was so
knew what they were doing.
Exactly. Until the bomb dropped and everyone went, "Oh, that's what I've been working on."
Yeah.
But
And then the Russians stole it and made their own.
Yes.
So it does get out eventually.
eventually, yeah. But how long were they working on it before everyone was
I
like,
don't
"Oh,
know. How many Nazi scientists did they bring over to help out with that little project?
7."
Only the good ones.
Just the cream of the crop, that's all.
No, they all went to NASA. Von Braun.
Yeah. But before, a little stop before NASA,
What?
they were the Manhattan Project. That's where all the Nazi rocket scientists.
The good ones got us to the moon, man.
Okay.
Unless you think
And
we
that's
didn't go to
that's
the
turned
moon.
out so all that money's been spent so well. I'm giving you the sarcastic thumbs up there, radio listeners. It says, way to go, because that's not like it's a complete and total waste of money.
I don't think it's a complete waste. We got some cool stuff out of it.
NASA? Yeah, we got microwave CD players, Velcro, like a lot of shit.
We got moon rocks.
What's your CD player at?
That's not a fair question. I mean,
Yeah,
now
mine-
Just-
you can't get this. You can't get the MP3 player without CD first, though.
Mine's in my truck.
Okay. Where I work, there's still folks out there looking for 8-track tapes, man.
Funny story.
Because
I
you
was
hate yourself. Why?
I was in the ghetto the other day, and I stopped to get gas, and there was some little kid and his buddy sitting out front of the door. And I walk in, and when I walk up, the guy's like, he's like, "Oh, I just got my CD, this and that." And I'm like, "How much is the CD?" He's like, "Whatever you got, man. $1, 50 cents, $5, whatever you think it's worth." And I was like, "All right, I'll give you $5." So
Just made his day.
yeah. So I bought the guy's CD for $5.
Okay.
What was his name? It was Young B.
Young B.
Yeah, and stereotypical fucking rap CD. He's got a little.
The outline of the city and the backdrop, and
Yeah,
he's got
yeah.
the crossed arms, the
Yeah.
hat that looks like it just literally
It's-
came right out of the store.
And it's not a made CD. He put a sticker on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe this could be really good. Maybe who knows? And so I start listening to it. Throw it in the CD player in the truck because it still works.
You're way too nice.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. Every once in a while, you got to take a chance with some music. So I'm listening to it, and I'm not gonna lie, like the melodies and the beats he picked were phenomenal.
Okay.
Like, it was really, really good.
So we're plugging him.
And the vocals, damn it, what's the word for it? The vocal patterns he picked were
His cadence.
there it is, the cadence. The cadence over the tracks were perfect. The lyrical content was fucking terrible. God damn it, it was fucking miserable. It was like, I'm gonna get money. I'm trying to get a milli. I'm in the hood. I want money. Like, fuck. Like I could say,
I think I've heard that song before.
yeah, 100 million times. Like, I can understand you have your one song about I'm trying to get rich. All right, cool. The whole fucking
You got to
CD,
have that one. You got to have your, I Party So Hard song.
yeah. No, the
the,
whole CD was I want money.
The, I Am God's Gift to the Ladies.
Yeah.
There's always that one. What's the other, like, you got to have it rap song? I'm there for my people.
And
there
I'm there for my people.
you have to rap about where you're from and how you rule that place.
You can combine that one up where I'm all there for my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 7 tracks, all 7. Like I said, the
I need money. I need money.
I need money. I'm trying to make a milli. Where's my milli? I want money. Like,
I don't think he's going to get there
I'm
selling
hustling
it
for
at
my milli.
$5 a pop
Like,
outside
no,
of
no,
the
he
shit and get on US One,
but like, I feel like he's got a lot of potential. It was just that lyrical content, man. Because like I said, the harmonies and the beats were beautiful. The lyrical cadence was perfect. Like made you want to move your head, and then you
Right.
start listening to it, and you're like, Fuck! Stop! Just stop.
Do you want to get him on? Can you find him again?
Yeah, I think you should have him on.
If he's that close,
So I can coach him.
Yeah, tell him
he's
it's like,
that
listen,
close
you
to
know,
being
it's like,
good.
read a book, dude.
Seriously.
You know, and you give him all that crazy, African, like the pulp literature and stuff like that.
All he needs is a thesaurus. Here, man.
That would be helpful.
Or give me BCD, Adderall. In 3 days, I'll give you something. I'm good at rewriting.
Yeah, but I mean, can you
For 7 songs, all you have to work with is "I Want Money."
can you share the experience of what it's like to be a young black man?
Obviously, look at me.
He is a minority.
Well, aren't we all now?
Technically.
Isn't didn't
an Indian.
the DNA testing kits prove that everybody's
He's an Indian.
right? Well, there's that.
Technically,
We're all a little bit oppressed.
Oh, so you've seen that episode of South Park too?
Yeah. Well, before they did it, it was Avenue Q.
I hadn't
You're
seen
a
it.
little bit racist. You're a little bit too. I guess we're all a little bit racist. Accepting it's not an easy thing to do. Come on, man. We learned that from the puppets.
The only thing I learned from puppets is that the internet is for porn.
What?
The internet is for porn.
Oh,
The
okay.
internet is for porn.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop watching puppets. Is what I'm thinking.
I
We're
say,
getting too much information from puppets, and that's not a good source. Not for you, not for me, Maddie.
I think it's all right.
And there's the problem.
I'm doing okay. I'm not like, getting porn from stores anymore. Now I just get it from the internet.
Nobody gets porn from stores anymore. I don't even know how those stores still exist.
I'm really confused. I don't know.
I mean, you got to be like low rent pervert to still be having to go down and rent DVDs and stuff.
Or you just don't know. You just don't know it's even there.
I can't. If you got a DVD player and you got the wherewithal to get your ass down to Miami Vice, which that was my favorite one on US 1 there. That's a good one. It's still there.
I know.
And I suppose
just
if
hope
you
today.
need some lingerie, that's the spot to go.
I might.
Yeah.
You never know. You feel like some fishnets or thigh high bustier. I don't know.
I might need a new corset. Do you know what that means, or
A
am I just
corset,
dropping-
sure, man.
Have you seen his pictures?
Of him in a corset.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, he
That's
dresses,
okay.
he dresses up in drag occasionally and does stand up.
All right.
There's a purpose.
Can
There's
tonight not be one of those nights?
Look at me. Am I? No, I've sat here with my ass on the fucking metal before with G-MILF. I did it with
Heather?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dressed up in the corset and stockings and shit, and it's like,
Oh, I saw that online.
yeah, he did
I
the whole.
thought-
He was dressed like
I
that for
thought
the
they
whole
just
show.
superimposed your head. I didn't realize that
No,
was real.
That was real.
Nope. I looked that good.
Okay.
He did the whole show dressed like that.
Yeah, I just threw up my mouth a little.
There was actually an entire purpose for that. Like I bought that a couple years ago because I
Besides
was.
you getting off. Besides that. Right?
That goes without saying.
Okay. So what was the other added benefit?
Well, I bought the whole deal like a couple years ago because I've done stand up on and off, and there's a friend of mine that she wanted to do. She's a burlesque, like belly dance, like a really classically trained dancer, but she's also a very funny person, and she's been trying, and she's also really good at like coordinating things, and she's really good at networking and stuff. So she had moved to Tampa, and she had started something called like strip club comedy. Basically, it'd be
It be. Well, okay.
it would be
It would be.
like a bunch of comics and then some dancers
Okay.
that she knew at a really seedy strip club.
Okay.
So it kind of makes sense in a way.
There's stuff like
because-
that going on. I saw there's Star Wars burlesque, where they're incorporating elements of Star Wars and into a burlesque show with the fans and all that kind of stuff. Never really I mean, that's why I like porn. I mean, I'm the Telly Savalas Players with Yourself Club kind of guy. I want to get to what I want to get to. Let's get this done. I got shit to do.
She said Telly Savalas.
Yeah,
I doubt our listeners know who that is.
no, Telly Savalas had he did the commercials for the Players Club.
I know who he is.
Right. Well, I always made fun of that. It was the Players with Yourself Club.
I know, but you've just aged yourself, basically.
So,
I'm just like,
well, because I know who Kojak is. Hey, here's something you need to
too.
learn about me. I love Me TV, like the old black and white westerns, the Rifleman,
Okay.
Gunsmoke. Love that shit. Cannot get enough of it. When my wife met me, I'm lucky she married me because I was in this huge John Wayne kick. Like this is back in the time of VHS. There you go, dating yourself, dating me.
Oh, we've all had VHS.
All right, so this
We're not
was.
that young.
I had literally every John Wayne flick from Red River all the way up through The Shootist, which was his last
I was about to say,
Oh,
do you know
wow.
what I just watched recently? The Shootist.
The Shootist was
And it was
his
really
last film.
fucking good. That was.
It was a great. Everything John Wayne did was awesome.
But it also like made sense because like he his character had cancer, right?
Yeah,
And isn't that kind of like how
that's
he died?
exactly.
Like it's.
Apropos.
I watched this like not that long ago, and I'm like, wow.
No, he knew it at the time.
Did you play? Did you plan that? That's what I'd love to
Yeah,
ask you.
he knew it at the time. But I mean,
That's
if
a
you're
great
you
fucking
know the original True Grit,
Yeah.
Rio Bravo, which is Hondo, hands down one of the best goddamn westerns ever. I mean, it's up there with the Clint Eastwood stuff. But I mean, if Hondo, man who shot Liberty Valance, he was the dude who shot Liberty Valance. It's just Jimmy Stewart got the credit because it was a better story.
How do you put that up against stuff like Tombstone?
Tombstone, great western, and
I'm waiting for a butt. Are you about to do butt?
no, there's no but.
Okay.
No, I got nothing there. Kurt Russell did a great job with that flick. I mean, I don't know if you know, but he directed that movie.
I know that.
Like he gave up speaking parts that ended up being Doc Holliday saying the lines, so that he could be available to direct it because the guy they brought in was just shit.
Oh wow.
So after I guess the guy died, and Val Kilmer just recently came out with something like this. He was like verified it all. It was like, yeah, literally. If it hadn't been for Kurt Russell literally putting his thumbprint on everything, making sure shit got done correctly, that movie would have never happened.
That's a
And
great
the
flick.
reason it's as good as it is because that guy grew up in the movie industry. I mean, he was a Disney kid
Yeah.
and grew up. I mean, he's one of the best success stories that Disney has for their kid actors. I mean, because Jesus Christ, he just had something come out on Netflix. He's playing Santa Claus now.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
they just put it
That's
out like
the
last week.
Christmas Chronicles. It just came out.
He's Santa.
And before that, he was he's in the Marvel Universe as Ego.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino can't get him enough of that. He's like in every Tarantino flick.
Yeah. Supposedly Tarantino's going to do a Star Trek film.
Oh, we need an update on that because
Yeah, we haven't heard anything new, but supposedly
he submitted like a
gave
Like
script or
actually Paramount Films.
they gave him a green light to write a script. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know
But
how
there's
far.
several others that are like he's kind of up against. So nothing's been greenlit, but there's like several different stories coming in.
Yeah, they got a couple people writing scripts, but apparently Tarantino wants to do a Trek flick.
let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
could-
am looking forward to?
It could be really good or really really bad.
Exactly. We'll see how it goes. You know what I am looking forward to?
What's that?
John Favreau's doing The Mandalorian.
Oh yes, Justin. Shout out to Justin.
Yeah,
He
it's
showed me
Boba
this.
Fett, basically
It's a
Boba
series,
Fett
yeah.
type character as a series set in the Star Wars universe with the George Lucas seal of approval.
Okay.
And Favreau producing, directing.
And
wow.
for anyone who doesn't know who
He
John,
did Elf. He did Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his guy?
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
what's he done that's not turned into? I mean, I can't think of a flop that this dude's had.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 was great.
Was not a flop.
Was not a flop at all.
Not a flop.
Not as good. I'm sorry. It's,
No, of course it
everything
wasn't
else,
as good as the
everything
first
else you
one.
said, and then Iron Man 2 below that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
okay.
It's still good.
Still good.
I'm not saying I won't watch it. I'm just saying not as good.
Damn Skippy. I watched the first Iron Man last night because,
Iron
I'm
Man-
on my Iron Man run. I'm doing my Marvel stuff, getting ready for
Infinity War.
well,
2,
whichever
or
it's whatever
whatever
they're going
it's
to call it,
called.
because
Yeah.
they keep threatening that the trailer's going to drop. Well, maybe this Wednesday, maybe this
I
Thursday.
saw that-
Ooh, Wesley,
Well, they're doing like a.
going to keep you on your toes and on the edge of your seat, man.
What are they doing? They're doing like something. They were doing something today, actually, like some studio deal, and they were talking about they might drop the trailer or at least officially put out the title of the movie.
Who knows?
I-
Who knows?
I
I mean, the one thing that we do know is that that something's got to happen where Spider-Man comes back.
Yes,
They're all
'cause-
coming back. Almost all of them are coming back.
Well, it's comic books. And-
I just
Yeah,
wanna know-
we already know the story. The
I mean,
story
come
in
on,
general.
man.
Yeah, no,
they
they're coming
froze.
back.
They unfroze Captain America, and he's good to go. No cell degeneration whatsoever.
They're coming back, but I think some of them might stay dead.
Yeah, they got to move on. I think there's plans to make a female Iron Man. Or I guess Iron Gal.
No.
Because they did it in the
No.
comics.
No.
And it didn't go well.
They
But-
backtracked it real fast.
Because the person they choose was a 15-year-old black nobody female.
Yeah.
Now in the MCU, Shuri Black
Right,
Panther's,
right.
that would actually
Black
work
Panther's sister.
because she's incredibly charismatic.
smarter than-
she's got a
Stark.
great following. She'd actually be a good move. It just didn't work in the comics, but it might work with her. But I don't think that's the plan.
That's the difference between the comic world and the
supposedly
and the cinematic world.
Gwyneth Paltrow is supposed to dress up as Rescue,
Okay.
which is female Iron Man.
Okay.
Like they,
I can see that.
She gets her own
Well,
suit.
didn't she still have the Emmaus thing going on with her?
No, that's the
Extremis.
Extremis,
yeah.
right.
That's supposed to be taken out. We think. I don't know why
Wasn't
you.
she still wearing that Aramis, man?
I think she got a
Stupid shit said on the air.
yeah. I think it was never really talked about, but I'm pretty sure Stark cured that.
I don't know why
I
you.
guess that happened off
I don't know
camera.
why you would though, because in the comics it's actually fucking awesome.
Yeah, but there's not.
I know.
And then if you watched Agents of Shield when it all ties together, like
I'm not there
you,
yet.
You die.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
It ends with you dying. So
Shield just
I quit Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the Ghost Rider.
really?
No, I stopped right after that one.
Oh my
That's-
god!
that's
The next
about-
season.
it's about-
No, I take that back. I watched the one where that's the planet. It's in there.
He
They're in
hasn't
the
seen it.
future.
Yeah, when they're in the future.
Yeah, I-
and then the chick, and then
I think
sees
that's
the
where
future.
they kind of.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Dude,
That-
it's weird.
That one,
It's very Marvel, man, and they're definitely moving that stuff into space.
and that season, hands down, the best one.
Okay.
It was so fucking good.
I don't know. I'm still half hard from just their Ghost Rider was really good.
The Ghost Rider season
Ghost
was
Rider
great.
was the best one.
They topped it with the space one.
I mean, I've almost forgotten the fact that Nick Cage played him the first time. Like, I'm that close to forgetting that happened.
Oh,
I forgot until you just reminded me right now.
You're welcome.
Do you really think he did that bad of a job?
Yes.
Yes.
It
I don't know, man. I
wasn't-
enjoyed both movies. I enjoyed them both.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed them, but it
I
wasn't a
thought
Ghost Rider
there were
film.
super cheesy parts.
It was,
But all in all, man, I mean, let's listen. When it comes to, and this is just one man's opinion here, when it comes to comic book flicks, that kind of thing, I watch them all. I go and support everything because I don't want them to stop. I've waited my whole life
Yes.
for this. Something, the things that it was in my imagination and in 2D in my hands. I can now, I'm there, and there's that old movie magic where they're there. I meet it immediately. I'm 7 years old again. And I'm there. Yes, Spider-Man is real, and he's fighting Doc Ock. And I'm watching it. Another one, Aquaman. Bro, what is going on in the DCEU that the top characters, Superman and Batman, can't get a good flick out of them here lately?
No one cares now.
but the trailer
But
for Aquaman.
Wonder Woman
It
and
does-
Aquaman,
The trailer for Aquaman looks out fucking.
it looks so dope.
I can't wait to see it.
It's-
Honestly,
It looks Doctor Strange good.
It's
Yeah.
Black Panther. It's Black Panther, but Aquaman is now the what's his name?
And putting Momoa in there, old Khal Drogo.
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Because you're going to have every chick in America just, sitting in the theater getting those seats moist.
And it just makes more sense to have a Hawaiian dude with like Hawaiian tats. That makes more sense to me.
There
than,
was, and I
than
think
the Aryan poster child that they
Yeah.
first made him as.
Well, there was a kid. There was an Aquaman movie, and it's on YouTube. It's got Ving Rhames in it.
really.
Yeah, it's actually not. Well, I mean, see, this is why you bring me on the show for the super deep. Let's get into it. No, but if you go, it's Aquaman made for TV movie.
Okay.
There was a Justice League made for TV movie.
I think I've seen that.
I mean, it's
pretty good.
It's cheese, baby. It is cheese.
DC animated, really actually really good.
Yeah, a lot of DC has a really good animated
Yeah,
stuff.
oh yeah,
The 90s
that's where they're excelling.
The
over
90s
Marvel.
Batman-
their TV shows, the Arrowverse is badass.
Well,
I enjoy it. I really like it.
you're comparing the two.
But-
They own the CW network. They're on every night of the
Look at
week.
this WB,
That one.
Warner Brothers.
Whereas Marvel's into Netflix,
Yeah.
and you take a show, Luke Cage, The Defenders, and Daredevil. Those three. Because as much as I wanted Iron Fist to be good, both seasons sucked.
I like
a big old
season
donkey
two.
dick.
Fucking hater.
I love season
Season
two.
2 was phenomenal.
No.
It was so
No, where they ended it
good.
is where they should have picked it up.
What? It was so good.
That's not a bad point though. Like,
No,
because
okay,
where they ended it, I'm like,
That's
I'm in.
where they should have picked
I'm
it up
in.
right there, where he was looking for the World War II.
Yes.
Orin. something.
Orange,
Orange,
something,
yeah. So
they
you
were
get the
looking
book
for
and
that
learn
cat.
about more. But
Right,
yeah.
that's,
The original Iron Fist like stole it from somebody.
Yeah.
Let's say that dude's still alive out there somewhere, and
That book was supposed to be in the temple, and he stole this book during World War II, and then went rogue Iron Fist or whatever.
And if he wasn't dead, I'll bet you that old dude would be played by David Carradine. But fucking autoerotic asphyxiation, never once.
Yeah, I was working for Paul and Ron when he was on the show, and then about a month later is when that happened.
Oh damn!
Oh wow.
He was drunk as fuck.
All right.
Oh, dude, it was, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you just, I don't know if he hadn't gone to bed yet, or that's just how he is, man, or how he was. But that dude was lit. Yeah, the only one I've seen more screwed up than him was Mitch Hedberg. He came into the station and obviously just he was nodding. The guy was on heroin. It was obvious. Smelled bad. The works.
And people wondered how he died.
Why died? He was crazy funny, but still, I mean,
he's still funny. By the way,
heroin is unforgiving.
Yeah,
he's still funny. Like it's because it's not relevant. It's just ridiculous humor. A lot of comics don't age well. His shit's so funny. I still laugh at
He's
it.
up there with like Bill Hicks. George Carlin. He'll go on forever.
There's just not enough of it.
All right, so the Aquaman movie.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
Aquaman. No, the one that you can go to YouTube right after the show. It's the made-for-TV Aquaman movie. It's got Ving Rhames in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Playing who?
He's like the trainer, overseer, protector who brought him up. Like, so he's brought out of Atlantis as a baby. So Ving Rhames has kind of brought him up in the Keys, and this was all filmed down in the Keys.
Okay.
And set in the Keys, next to the Bermuda Triangle, where apparently that's where Atlantis is. And there's this whole thing where if he goes back, there's going to be a war down there. And anyway, and now they're trying to come and kill him to cement whatever. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
Okay.
The Justice League one, not so much. That's up there with the Roger Corman Fantastic Four flick. You're never going to get.
I've heard of this. I want to see it.
Dude,
but
you're never going to get that hour and a half of your life back.
Have you seen the first Captain America? I own it.
Yes.
I own it.
Yes, I have.
And I will give it its credit in that they did something that they should have done that they ended up doing in the first Captain America, which was you make Red Skull go through the experiment first. Mm-hmm. That was not canon in the comics, but they did take that and use that in the first Captain America, the one with Chris Evans. Like it's the only good thing about that, except for, and I posted this on a friend's page, MySpace page years ago. But this is before the MCU started. But somebody cut up just all the scenes of Captain America punching people, and then played it to America Fuck Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only other good thing from that movie.
All right. There was that one. There was a Nick Fury movie with David Hasselhoff.
Yes. Which sadly, visually, he's perfect.
I got to say, of all the Marvel flicks, the villainesses in that one at the time, I'm sure they're not quite as. It's like the hot chicks room. Okay. But those hot chicks have been in there for 20 years. They're not.
Upright Citizens Brigade. Man, you're all over the place. Upright Citizens Brigade. We haven't even touched that one yet in this podcast.
They're not that hot anymore. That kind of thing. But back in the day, when it was a young Wesley was watching that on the Sci-Fi Channel, that was.
I remember seeing the previews for that. I've never seen it.
What about Man Thing? Again, you're never going to get that hour and a half of your life back. But there was made for Sci-Fi through Marvel Films. This was right after Blade.
Okay.
So this was like a straight up made for TV. All $5 of the budget. You don't see the monster until the end, and then all you really see is glowing eyes.
Okay.
You don't see the Man Thing. Swamp Thing from back in the early '80s.
I've got a couple of those comics.
Those great flicks. There was a series.
The Toxic Avengers?
No, not this. No, the Swamp Thing.
That's a totally different shitty thing.
There was a series for Swamp Thing back again in the mid '80s. It was one of those. Wouldn't be on ABC, NBC, or CBS, but it would be like on your local affiliate on Saturday at 4:00. That kind of thing. It was like they would make it, and then different markets would buy it. But it was like that. There was a New Mutants TV show there for a while.
Oh wow!
I don't think I know this. I think I might have missed it because I missed like Wolverine and the X-Men. I missed a lot of those animated series.
No, these were live action series. Everything that I'm telling you guys about is a live action series. Never mind the animated stuff. I mean that's fun, but as far as the development of the comic book movie from, I don't know what the first one that I am like truly aware of was the Superman with Christopher Reeve. I remember my father taking me to see that.
Yeah.
And then the next one after that would probably be Batman, Tim Robbins' Batman, and those were all awesome.
Tim Robbins' Batman?
Oh, what the director?
Oh, not Tim.
Edward Scissorhands guy.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue. God damn it. Nightmare.
Yeah.
Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Tim
Burton.
Burton.
That's
thank
it.
you.
Tim Burton. That's the one.
Yeah.
His first two, Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean,
Then they got campy. That's when they started bringing in,
because he dipped out, and then
they changed Batman. Michael Keaton and went to what was it first? Was it Clooney and then Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer, then
Clooney. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, they decided they were like, okay, we can use this to make money, but it can't win awards, so it's not a serious flick. Nobody cares.
Well, no, you had a different director that came in and instead of keeping Batman dark,
Schumacher.
right?
Yeah.
You had Joel Schumacher, and it's like, this is a comic book, people, and it's going to be big, and that's why they bring in Schwarzenegger to have the cheesiest of lines. Cool out.
That
Keep
was,
it on ice.
Hold on. Whoa.
I know. I just said committed sacrilege saying the anti-Schwarzenegger stuff.
Whoa. He's one of the greatest actors in the world.
In the world.
Look
at twins. Junior. He had a baby in Junior.
See?
Listen, hey, you got me.
Best actor in the world.
Conan.
Terminator 2.
Right up there with one of the first.
Predator.
Yeah, Predator was a good one. You remember, what was it? Good Lord.
Eraser?
That one, but no, I was thinking Red Heat. The one he was with the Jim Belushi. Red Heat.
I don't know.
He's set in Chicago, and he plays a KGB agent who comes over to find some Soviet criminal who's made it to America in the middle of the fucking Cold War. Somehow, somehow made his way to Chicago.
Okay.
Because, Chicago in the 80s was known for being just huge, but just loaded with Russians. Maybe Boynton Beach I could have bought, but Chicago, not so much,
Yeah, no.
I'm sure the Italian gentleman and the Polish gentleman and the Jewish gentleman and the black fellas there would have that ran the criminal element there may have had something to say with it. Chicago, I'm pretty sure, pretty tight and buttoned down mob town.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I'm fairly certain of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't they have Al Capone was from there or something? Sam Giancana.
Yeah.
The whole syndicate. What happened to Robert?
Oh, he went to get a beer.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he does beer runs. But yeah, so okay. But the comic book flicks. So
yes.
After Batman, I think so there wasn't really there was nothing. There was nothing. There was a big empty gap there. And then Bryan Singer made X1, the X-Men movie.
That's where it really started up. And that was that's Fox.
That was Fox.
Through Marvel No, there was Blade before that.
Blade was good.
And Blade was Marvel Films. That was Avi Arad.
It was I don't think it was Marvel Studios. It was a Marvel film, but
okay.
It wasn't whatever.
But you had Blade 1, 2, and 3.
But they were I guess you could say they were underground comic book hits.
Same as Daredevil. Same as
most
right
people,
up there.
Most people didn't know Blade was Marvel. They had no idea.
No.
They thought it was just Wesley Snipes being a badass ninja or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The Daywalker.
Yeah.
All right. So from Blade, which also had a series on Sci-Fi.
Yes.
Not Wesley Snipes playing that one.
Apparently, Wesley Snipes is
when to come back. I don't blame him.
Apparently, he's talked with. He has officially talked with Marvel Studios, and apparently there is a new movie that it hasn't been completely greenlit, but they are writing a script. And
I'd love to see it.
And he's supposed to be involved, so I'd
love to see it. I'd love to see Ryan Reynolds come back as Solomon King.
Oh, that.
No, actually, they greenlit 2 movies.
They did greenlight it?
Well, they're starting with 2. And they had posted, I think they started a Twitter conversation about who should play Blade. And actually some really, really cool artwork came out with Jamie Foxx. He looked badass. And then I think Kevin Feige, fucking, godfather of my dreams, of Marvel, has said there's only one Blade.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Which we just watched those again recently, and we nerded the fuck out.
Yeah, it's a good flicks, man.
Because they were MCU before the MCU was the MCU.
They didn't know what they were doing.
They weren't meant for kids, and it's a vampire, so it should be kind of a horror movie.
All right, so let's take a second. We've talked about all the good stuff. Let's talk about the really bad stuff that should be avoided at all costs.
Daredevil?
Namely, the Ben Affleck Daredevil. And not because of Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Not his fault.
It's not Ben Affleck.
Not because of him,
great.
because of Bullseye. Colin Farrell's Bullseye. That's the reason you want to miss that flick.
Really? Because there's so much more we can.
There's a
whole lot more there than that.
The Kingpin suddenly becomes black.
I didn't mind that racist.
Not even a little bit. No, that's not that good old-fashioned soft racism.
It's what's his name? Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay, yeah.
Which is kind of made sense to me because he's a smart guy.
Coffee like the drink.
They at least understood one thing: the Kingpin should be physically imposing. He's not just a fat guy. Like,
No,
should
yeah,
be physically.
he's solid.
And I'm still afraid of Michael Clark Duncan. He's been dead for like 5 years now. So
I remember those panels in the comic where he's like, I trained my body to be like granite.
Yeah.
And it showed, it's just those, like, 5 different drawings on one panel of him, like, breaking bricks with his hand.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it looks like he's this big fat blob of a dude, but no, that's all solid.
He's a solid mass.
Yeah.
did you see the Daredevil season 3, the last one?
Yeah.
They got him in the iconic suit.
Oh, yeah, the
That
white
was
suit.
fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I loved it.
6 foot nerd erection.
Yeah. So, and then Daredevil, that movie got a spinoff.
Oh, Elektra, yes, also.
Yeah. Another. Woo.
I'll be honest, the only one scene I've seen, it's where this chick kisses, what's her name, who plays Elektra, and it was just so I could beat off real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where, it's Typhoid Mary. Kisses her and
yeah.
gives her, but
Jennifer
that's why
Garner.
it's watching is for the villains. That's one. The only reason to watch that one is the villains. They make that flick because
Oh, do you really want to shit on something? Wolverine Origins.
Oh, there you go. That one sucked dick.
Did it?
God,
Yes.
yes, absolutely.
If they hadn't gotten,
God
if
damn
they
it.
just hadn't put Ryan Reynolds in that one as Wade Wilson, and just left Wade Wilson out of it,
That was fan service. Total fan service.
that's what that was. They were trying, to squeeze a little more blood out of the radish there.
Okay, so
but
so
had they just completely left that
why
out of it,
why did he have to run into Gambit? Like, what the hell was going on? in
because
the
they were
island?
looking,
like,
again, fan service. They just
God
want names in there that we'll
damn it.
know.
Like, there was that movie sucked so bad. Like,
and then the girl's sister turns into Diamond because she's supposed to be Emma Stone, but not.
yeah,
no,
but
Emma,
not. They
whatever.
were, like, it was completely out of continuity with everything else that was going on. Like, it made no goddamn sense.
well,
we gotta
that's your friends at Fox
we gotta like our
playing
fifth,
with Stan Lee's characters.
we had like our fifth fucking
You had to say
actor playing Sabretooth. Like, there's no like.
Yeah, but
God
Liv Schreiber
damn
was
and that
the-
actually,
of all of them,
he was
Liv
pretty-
Schreiber was the best.
He was the
fucking-
best,
Yeah,
for
he was
sure.
fucking badass.
For sure, he
Well,
was the
there you
best.
go. So you just found something nice to say about that movie that you just didn't you?
not the movie.
There you go, Mr.
Not the movie.
Blister.
And I have
Did we just stumble upon like Effeminate West? I didn't know this was a thing.
All right, man, I'm a father of 3 daughters. I became a dyed-in-the-wool feminist the moment my first daughter was born.
he lives
the
in a house
moment.
with 4 women.
I do.
That sounds like how I grew up. It's like mostly women.
Yeah, it is not what I imagined as a young man. I was like, one day I'm going to live in a house full of bitches.
You should have been more specific.
Bet you wish you went to AC now, huh?
Yeah. No, that's all joking aside. That's one of the best things about my life is being a father. I mean, that's the number one job. That's what. Yeah, everything else comes second to that.
I say your daughters are adorable, by the way.
Thank you.
Ages?
We paid extra for that. It was 10, 8, and 6. So
That's
great.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's like okay. So I'm the oldest, 2 years beneath me is my sister. 2 years beneath that is my brother. It's like
Yeah, the last 2 are Irish twins, and that's a fun story.
Irish twins. What's
Oh
that?
yeah. The wife we had the second baby, Faith, and my wife was scheduled to go and get her tubes tied. The day the procedure's supposed to happen, we fasted the night before, and yes, I'm doing that couple thing. We fasted the night before, no, meaning she didn't eat. She got herself ready to have surgery and all this, that, and the other thing. We wake up to a phone call from the hospital. Your doctor went into labor,
What?
so the procedure's been canceled.
Okay.
Okay. Now, sometime between that moment and the moment that my wife did not call to schedule it, I knocked her up again. Because I'm so potent.
Slut.
Yeah. Sleeping with my wife. I'm just a pretty
Yeah, but you couldn't hold
After
out.
2 kids, we had that third
You
one.
couldn't hold out though. You couldn't wait.
So, I did. So, the doctor that delivered Hope, my third baby, she was the one who went into labor and missed the appointment. So I was, I'm like, you got to give me a discount, right? Didn't get a discount. Didn't get a discount. So let that be a lesson to you. Refrigeration and air conditioning repair may seem like the way to go, but you really want to be an OBGYN. That's where the money's at.
Because you never have to give a discount.
Exactly. Never, what? You want me to put the kid back up in there? No. What are you going to do? You going to pay the bill? You're going to pay the bill.
No refunds.
Oh, that sucks.
See, I just brought a 360 is what I did there. That's where we started the show.
Where's that?
With the AC&R repair tech thing,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I just brought it full 360 with the OBGYN story.
But what about the comic book movies?
That was filler in the middle, man. That's just to make your show entertaining.
This is so not where I expected to go.
No, not at all.
Like, I don't really know him. So I learned one thing on the ride here. You guys were also in a band together.
Correct.
Yes.
I learned that because I literally texted you like, so is there anything I should know about him, or do we just go in dry? Like, nah, I should do it dry. So the only thing I thought of was I wanted to like talk about how, hey, do you know how today we like act like nobody actually just listens to CDs anymore? Because
I do.
Well, you do, but I was because I'd heard a song.
But I still listen to. I mean, because of my job, I still listen to vintage vinyl and LPs. That's one of the beauties of beauty benefits of my day gig.
But most people don't, and that's really sad because I literally just heard a song.
Yeah, it is.
I literally just heard a song today off an album where I would have never heard that song unless I bought the album. Because back in the day, you would buy the album and you would put it in the CD player and you would just let it play.
Sure.
And most of the songs were never going to be played, on the radio. And I was like, that sucks for like people today who don't do that.
Well, that's really changed the whole industry. Is where you wouldn't pay. What was it at the time? Like $11 for a CD.
I think originally it was like 15 or 20.
Yeah, something like that.
Unless-
But
It was
when it
like
leveled
20
out,
It was like $20, and then it was like 15, and then
it
was,
leveled out to about what $11-12.
I would just CD warehouse where that shit was cheap because you bought it, used.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, like say
No, yeah.
a new CD comes out, it's going to come out brand new, $11-12, maybe $13 if it's somebody like Michael Jackson or something like that. And
Or if it's the Smashing Pumpkins.
sure,
Or like they do like
Yeah,
a
it's a
double
double
album where it's-
record.
where it's
I bought
sure.
that.
Infinite
Yeah.
Sadness, Melancholy and the Infinite
Sure.
Sadness.
No, I'm sorry. My dad bought that for me.
Yeah.
no,
No, my
you're
dad.
dating yourself.
Yeah. My dad said it was one of the weirdest like birthday purchases for me ever. I think I was like 13 or 14, and he was at a Blockbuster, and he walks up and he'd asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I'm like, all right, I want Smashing Pumpkins, and I want Stabbing Westward. He goes, I don't know what any of those words are, but okay. So he goes to Blockbuster, and there's like a young dude behind the counter, and he says, I want Stabbing Westward, and I want Smashing Pumpkins, and the guy just stares at him and goes, why? Because my dad's a bald, Jewish, hairy, chubby guy, and like my dad told me, like I'm looking in this guy's eyes, and I can tell this guy's thinking, I have to give up on my music because this old Jewish bald fat guy is now into it, and he goes, no, it's for my son. He goes, oh, thank God.
Wow.
Yeah, buying music at Blockbuster.
Yeah, okay.
Also
I
Blockbuster.
was more hung up on the kid that's like, because an older guy likes the music you like, you can't like it anymore.
Yeah, because when you're 16, you're stupid as shit.
Yeah, there you go. That seems like that's the one.
So $11 CDs.
Yeah. So now, and you wouldn't pay $11 for something with just 3 songs.
No.
That's a rip-off, right? Right off the bat. That's where I see your haunches come up. You've come forward in your chairs. So how does a record company overcome that? Filler. So you would, you're going to write a record that's going to be 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. It's got to have at least 8 songs. At least 8. Look at Metallica, for example. All right? Those first couple of records were almost formulaic.
Yeah.
With, you had the title track was going track 2.
Yeah.
You had the opener, which would have an instrumental open.
Then they always had like a 3 or 4 minute instrumental song.
Right. And that would be usually the next to last track.
Yeah.
Orion, Dyer's Eve.
Yeah.
It would be the next to last track. The last song on the first side would be the ballad.
Yeah.
Welcome Home Sanitarium. Let's start it off with Fade to Black, Welcome Home Sanitarium, 1.
Yeah.
There you go. So, I mean, they knew what they were doing. Now,
I didn't know there were formulas. You
No,
ruined,
you-
ruined
you
my
didn't know
childhood.
that?
No.
Really?
Look at it.
these guys
I
actually
just-
thought about what's the best way to separate you from your money.
Yeah. No, they sat down and they wrote
It's
these.
show business.
Yeah.
Sigh.
That's why everyone hates on fucking Lars, because he was like the driving force of the business. He was like, no, we need this song, this song, this song, and this song. We don't care how we get there, but we need this song to be this.
But
this
he was
song to be
brilliant
this.
in that when they were getting started, they were playing covers of bands kids in America never heard of. Budgie, Diamond Head, that kind of stuff. Nobody heard that shit. Or like if you'd heard the Misfits, man, you were really on the extreme back in, we're talking back in the day when this stuff was coming out. This was not cool. People did not listen to this stuff. You were a weirdo. I mean, this was a time when you couldn't go down to the mall and buy your little hair dye and that kind of stuff. You couldn't go buy your punk rock.
Oh, this is back in the day before.
Yeah, this is when you had to really be it, and this is when you were going to get in a fight.
This is before Hot Topic, where you could actually buy an entire personality.
Yeah, you would get if you dressed that way or you had long hair, you were going to get in a fight. It was going to happen.
Punk mentality, aisle 3.
Yeah.
So nowadays, with you being able to purchase songs by the song, you can literally go in and hand pick what you want. The record companies have.
You don't even do that. You just spend whatever it is for Spotify and then pick it. Like you don't actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, who really owns music anymore?
I do.
You're a freakazoid.
I am.
You're the new audiophile. You're like you're the modern version of a record collector.
I am, and it's. I mean, I don't have.
How often do you listen to those though?
I listen to them constantly.
Okay,
Are you kidding me? I immerse myself daily in music.
Some folks will get it, and mostly what I see is people who get it just to have it to collect it.
No, there's
Like
no
they'll
point
buy
in that.
records. They have no intention of playing. They just want to own it, and they want it in good condition so they can,
No, I purge my hard drive of stuff that I'm not going to listen to. I'll listen to it like this is terrible. I'll never hear this again. Fuck this. And then there's some songs where I'm like, I keep them because I got to be in a mood to listen to them. I'm like, all right, I'll hang on to this. Or other stuff is
like
just
Offspring. It's Offspring for me. Got to be in the mood.
well, like there's some like Meshuggah,
okay.
real heavy math metal
Seven
band.
string,
Real heavy
seven string guys.
They're like super math metal. So like it's an involved listening experience. So
Math metal?
math metal.
like
So-
Helmet.
I'm learning a
So
lot tonight.
math metal is okay. So the drummer,
It's like progressive metal, and we're just going to be complicated for just the sake of being complicated.
yes, but so like a lot of times when I listen to music, I'm not just zoning out. I listen to it and I'm dissecting it in my head. So like in my mind, I can see okay, this is the guitar line, this is the bass line, this is the drum line, and I can see almost see the tracks as they're being played out. So with the math metal, so like Meshuggah, you'll have his right hand is playing in 8/8, his left hand is playing 2/4, and his feet are playing 11/30 seconds.
And my head hurts. But
Yeah,
go on-
and then
go on.
the overall time signature of the song is 4/4. But the only way to write it down on paper to have it make any kind of goddamn sense is in like 11/30 seconds. Yeah, it's yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's one of those things where you're like, huh? And it's
And it sounds okay.
I like it.
It's just heavy. It's heavy and like what as an instructor I would say are etudes. It's just things that you would practice to get good at doing something.
Okay, yeah.
They just do it over and over and over again and make a song out of it. Same shit the Dream Theater does.
yeah.
Not a fan. Just not a fan. I mean,
Like making a song out of scales?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Ingve, I'll give you an example. There's one of those rock and roll stories that you always hear that some guitar festival thingy. And Yngwie Malmsteen's on the bill. Stevie Ray Vaughan's on the bill. So doing the sound check and everybody's going up and checking out the guitars and everything. And, Malmsteen is a big Richie Blackmore fan. So an equivalent to that, because he was a bluesy kind of guy, would be Stevie. They both played Stratocasters. So Yngwie does his warm-up and all this, that, and the other thing. And he gets over to Stevie and he's like, well, what did you think? And he's like, yeah, you practice real good. When are you going to start playing? And then you play a song. It's like, and then he would just, yeah, I can do that too. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Unless you can do it really well.
Nobody wants to hear that stuff. I mean, that's why, Yngwie Malmsteen plays maybe 2-3 times a year now.
Yeah.
And when he does, it's at, it's all guitar players. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. What's the thing that's going through Generation Axe?
Yeah.
So it's
He's a guitar player's guitar player.
Nuno Betancourt and Zach Wilde and Yngwie Malmsteen and 2 other guys you've never heard of that are guitar virtuosos.
Yeah.
So who's in that audience?
Other guitarists.
Right.
Other
that's
musicians.
Sausage Festival. There's not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. That's always my yardstick. If chicks dig it, it's good music.
There is a definite line between okay, you're a great player, great musician, and then there's the guys that write music that everyone likes.
Yeah.
And that's yeah.
I mean, I can appreciate. I mean, I work in a music store, and there's dudes that come in there and shred. I mean, we'll melt your freaking face off. But then you ask them, okay, now play a song. Like what? And they're stumped. Like, okay, you can't play something by the Police. How about some Metallica?
Denied.
How about just
They can all
nope.
play. Let's be real. They can all play some Metallica.
Can they?
Every
time I mean, literally, it's like, well, play me a song. It's always the shred guys. Okay, play me a song. They can't. They can scale their butts off with precision and accuracy like a nuclear weapon. Like a tactical missile. But can you play me a 3-chord song?
I know. When I was coming up, when I was learning guitar, everybody learned Nirvana and Metallica. It was everyone learned Fade to Black. Everyone learned Enter Sandman, and then everyone started off with Come As You Are and Teen Spirit.
With me, my generation. Let's see here. It was
that was the songs everyone learned.
You had to know how to play Layla by Derek and the Dominoes.
God damn, it's a great song. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, you had
Not
to,
Eric Clapton.
No, it was Clapton.
Well,
he recorded it right here in Miami. Derek and the Dominoes was the record that it was on. And see here. Had to know that one. Had to know House of the Rising Sun. That was like the first song that anybody ever learned.
Yeah. I don't even play, and I still know how to do that. And I know that you can sing
Fly By Night by Rush.
Okay.
That would be one.
Okay, Rush is a great example of an extremely technical band that writes good songs and they did it tastefully.
Okay, name the 3 other bands that are like that.
Protest the Hero.
Never heard of them.
What?
Never heard of them.
What? They're
Never heard of them. They are not on the level of Rush.
They are. They just don't.
They are not.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yes, they fucking are.
They're not.
Yes, they are.
Playability wise, they are. Never heard of them, Maddie. Never heard of them.
They have the whole band is nothing but virtuosos, and they have some of the best music. It's so good.
Never heard of them. Where's their radio hit?
They don't have radio anymore, man. What plays
You still
rock?
listen to radio?
What plays rock on the radio anymore?
Nobody listens to radio.
Well, Spotify or
Nobody
the
plays
new music
anything.
you ought to know kind of feature that
They don't have that.
everybody should be listening to at least once a week. Just like you
No,
need to go to a local music show at least once a week.
I agree to go to the local music show, but nobody listens to radio anymore. And Spotify, their new music stuff sucks. You know what you got to do? You have to go into you got to go to YouTube and then find related video links because they're not sponsored. So you can go to YouTube, find a band you like, and there's going to be 12 other bands that may be close or not to, and then you just start going down the rabbit hole until you find something that's a band that does something consistently good you like.
Okay. I guess there's more than one way to skin this cat.
Because there's just, I don't know.
That's what I'm taking away from this.
I
There's
feel
the way you do it and there's the way I do it.
I feel like everything that they push on Spotify for the new feature stuff is just stuff that somebody paid for that spot or stuff they're trying to push. Like, oh, here's this new great artist. It's the next, Nirvana. It's the next Eminem. It's the next this. And it's like,
I just right now there's really nothing that's coming out that's floating my boat.
Nothing.
I mean, there's really.
That's why you need to listen to Protest the Hero.
We can't shit on Spotify too hard, so thank you for playing us.
Yeah, we're on Spotify, by the way.
I know. That's how I listen to shit. I've got a Spotify account,
But they're not paying us, so also fuck them.
Usually, if I get a call from a band, it's looking for a bass player or something like that, and it's okay. Send me your set list, and then the first thing I do is I set up a Spotify of that set list and start listening to it, and it's okay. I start separating the stuff that's a throw in a guy with a 3-chord. Okay, got that, and you get it down to the 5 songs that you actually have to learn.
Yeah.
To be able to do the gig. So I use it all the time. It is a excellent, wonderful product.
Wait, so you're in a band?
I am.
What's the name of your band?
Rear View Mirror.
I make that joke because we finished with Craig. I'm like, did we even mention the fact that he's in a band? Like, I don't think we did.
Yeah, we just.
No, yeah, we did. He talked about it because they were about to play the races.
We did.
Oh, that's
We
right.
played the
That's right.
last NASCAR race of the year.
saw those
We played
pictures.
on Saturday and Sunday.
Look fun.
Let's see here. We got December the 15th at the Glades Club for the annual Herman Dodd MC Toy Run. We're doing the after party for that. December 22nd, as of today, we just got booked at Cafe 27.
Nice.
So this is the Christmas Eve, the Saturday before Christmas party. And then, of course, New Year's Eve right here in Cutler Bay at the Sandbar. We are the featured band of the evening. I'm not sure what kind of a theme they're going with or anything like that. I hope it's bikinis or perhaps naughty lingerie party. That would be nice.
Or the theme that they've been working so well, which is we're not Cutler Bay Sports Bar, we're cleaner.
Yeah, right? I feel so weird walking into that place.
Why?
Because there's no 80-year-old woman who's done meth who's hitting on me. Kids can go there safely.
Yeah.
Like,
I go there.
They
and
have two
I-
separate bathrooms.
Yeah, I go there and I don't get offered crack. Like, it's weird.
Well, it was bad, man.
Do they even have a bouncer?
No.
They don't
They don't need
need
one.
Yeah.
They don't need one. The place needs to
don't
be
need
cleaned
Matt.
up.
They don't need Matt anymore.
The singer for our band, Review Mirror, his dad was a local hoodlum that did business out of that place when it was, when it was the Cutler Bay Sports Bar.
Funny story, before it was Cutler Bay Sports Bar, when it was Saga Lounge, because I grew up around the area. My dad used to drive by there when I was a little kid, and every time we drove by, my dad would always point there and go, "Never go in there. Don't ever
Go in there." And you end up getting a job there.
I wound up working
married
there. Yeah, I got married there.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your dad didn't know that it was going to be, open,
I mean-
bar that night.
Yeah, right. Well, to be fair, the Cutler Bay Sports Bar was a lot cleaner than Saga Lounge was. Mm-hmm. And then,
Well, that was back, Cutler Bay. We're talking what, mid '80s.
yeah,
You go back before the mid '80s is really when like the cocaine cowboys that were down here were starting to get too old to do it and start shutting stuff down. And if you spend more than 5 minutes in Cutler Bay now, I mean somebody's offered you bud.
oh yeah,
I mean there's just so much marijuana that comes through this little burg that either out of the grow houses that are out in the Redlands or wherever it's packaged and processed down here, but
yeah,
some of the best weed in Florida comes through Cutler Bay.
always.
So
And there was no Cutler Bay. You were a Ridge Rat.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's when that was also when they cleaned it up. There used to be Cutler Ridge, giving it a most distinctly, shall we say, white suit with a pointy hat kind of vibe down here.
You know what's funny? Okay, so
Not that it's like that now. I mean, especially congratulations to Tim Meerbot on winning the mayorship.
Oh, he did get the mayor?
He won it, baby.
all right, good.
So yeah, that's right. Now I'm stepping in some high cotton. I'm in cahoots with the mayor.
I wish I was still a resident of Cutler Bay just so I could have voted for that, but
Boy, no, you live in Goulds,
I know.
so
I'm in the
ghetto. Dude, you're on the edge of the urban sprawl.
Technically, it says Homestead.
Yeah, technically my address is Homestead now. They
They
rezoned
rid it-
everything
Why?
because of the
Some
new neighborhood up
politician
the
needs your
street.
vote.
I guess so. Well, the new neighborhood up the street,
Uh-huh.
Silver Palms. So they built all that shit and all that shit on 248, and they rezoned all this to be technically Homestead. I think it's because Homestead wants to raise the taxes, and they're trying to annex this area to expand the city limits for the city of Homestead.
Oh, so, well, I guess yeah, it seems about right.
Yeah.
And the only reason I noticed that is because we had Heather on, one of our guests, and she was like picking me up and taking me here. She's like, give me Matt's address. So I do it, and she goes, "Oh, he lives in Homestead." Wait, it's only 3 miles away. What happened?
Yeah.
Homestead's getting spread out there, man.
Yeah. They're growing.
Yeah, they are. 1/3 of America's winter vegetables are grown there.
Like herpes, one house at a time.
Whatever, man. 90% of the people on Earth have herpes. Relax. It ain't that bad. You're not gonna die.
I'm
from
not
it.
shitting on herpes. I'm shitting on Homestead.
Oh my God!
But yeah,
I'm glad I'm not in the dating pool anymore.
90% of the world's population has herpes,
Okay.
and it's not bad. It's,
And
not, it's
what?
not a bad thing. I was just watching Adam Ruins Everything, and he did a whole episode on it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel educated on it.
I've seen that. It wasn't actually a thing until they created or they made a drug that would like help the outbreaks. They're like, well, how do we sell this drug? Well, you have to make have to make it seem really bad.
And it just happened to be like right after everyone was like getting scared of AIDS, so they were like, "Oh, this is a disease too, and it's terrible."
Okay. Well, when you say 90%, like you're talking, is the different
It's just,
simplexes?
it's just
Yeah.
a virus.
Because
like,
a cold
sits in your
sore versus
Yeah.
genital herpes is
Yeah.
they're
Well,
worlds
apparently-
apart.
Apparently on Adam Ruins Everything, he said apparently like 60% of the people that have it don't even know they have it because they never develop symptoms.
Okay.
body. So you have it and you don't know it.
Yeah, so
That's
you can have
right.
it, you don't
So
know
your
it.
This is the
granny
intervention.
had it right. You want to, stay, clean and a virgin and marry, somebody
what?
who's untouched.
A what? A what?
A
Virgin.
Bless you.
So this is what I think is really funny.
Okay.
When they were doing the thing in Cutler Ridge to change it to Cutler Bay, and they were voting on the name, the reason it was called Cutler Ridge is because it's literally that area is a topographical ridge. Like there's a ridge line there, and they decided to go with Cutler Bay because it sounded fancy, but there's no fucking bay there.
No.
There's no bay.
There's no beach access there, is there?
No, none. So they called it Cutler Bay because they wanted it to sound fancy. And then the city gave a bunch of breaks to the Mercedes dealerships so they would come down so that way they could, attract more businesses or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the Mercedes dealership moved in. They got rid of the hockey rink that used to be there and gave it to the Mercedes dealership, gave them a bunch of tax break. They came down here. And then they decided to name it Cutler Bay.
Okay.
Which was fucking stupid.
Well, there's a lot of
So there was
new development around here. I mean, as far as like where Craig lives, that's fairly new. There's the spots that this, I guess it's government subsidized housing.
Yeah.
A lot of that going on.
The
Depends on which side of US one you're on, I reckon.
So little more history about the area. There was an old dude named Cutler, and he owned like everything way back in the day. Mm-hmm. And Eureka, the street, was actually a cow path, which is why Eureka is all turny and wavy and stuff.
Right.
That's why it's not straight like every other road in the area, because it was literally a cow path, and they paved it. That's how that worked. But it was called Cutler's Ridge, and they just turned it to Cutler Ridge. But it was Cutler's Ridge.
I see.
Because he owned all that land, and he had farms and animals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I guess he died and sold it off piece by piece or whatever. But that's why it was Cutler Ridge, because it was Cutler's Ridge.
Mr. Cutler's Ridge.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Now we know.
I did know that Black Point was the only boat dock or boat slip that was allowed for African Americans back in the day.
I didn't know
all the good ones were, when they say all the good ones, were up Miami Beach way, and North Beach, Aventura, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So the African American community would have to come all the way down here to, if they were going to work as fishermen or, let's face it, there weren't a lot of African Americans that had leisure boats.
Yeah.
These were working people in working craft. So if they're fishing for mullet or crab or shrimp or whatever it happens to be. So they'd have to come all the way down here to dock their boats and go to work. So now it's turned into one of the premium little spots where to dock your boat and
Yeah, everyone wants to come out of Black Point now.
Well, yeah, it's less expensive than everything else. For now.
Yeah.
Give them time.
Oh,
Give
yeah,
them time.
it'll go up.
All right. Bobby K. He's 3 beers deep now.
You did not use that first name.
Yes, he did.
Which means you've seen me on Facebook. Damn it. Like, until MySpace was a thing, my friends were not aware of my first name.
No?
Well, because I've been Crep since I was 13, 12.
All right.
Because it's a cool name that like isn't defined. I get to define it.
Okay.
And also, Bobby's like an 8-year-old. Not ripping on Bobby, yeah.
That's not true. One of my grandfathers was a Bobby.
My grandfather
Was a Bobby.
he was Bob. My grandfather.
Okay. Bob spelled backwards is Bob.
I know, but Bob sounds like a 40-year-old. I don't know.
Well, we just went from little kid to 40-year-old.
Well, yeah, that's Bobby. Bob's a 40-year-old,
Bald dude with a 401k
and 3 kids he hates. And
Oh wow.
yeah.
Wow.
He's the record executive picking to sign Britney Spears.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna have to go rethink my whole Bobby. I think. Sorry, Bobby Lockhart, if you're listening.
And Robert is just way too professional for me. I use Robert professionally, but it's just
No.
it's too much.
No. All right. What else you got?
What do I got?
What else are we talking about?
Whatever.
Because I think we're about to start cutting into my drinking time.
Your drinking time?
Yeah. I gotta get home. I gotta work tomorrow, man.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, aren't you doing like getting up super early to do extra work and all that?
Yeah, I do that.
I gotta get up super early to do that dad stuff.
I usually get up.
Gotta make lunches, make breakfast, make sure teeth get brushed.
Yeah, I get up at like 3:45.
Wow. Well, that's right. You work out too.
Yeah,
Right?
I get up in the morning, go to the gym, get my workout on, do a little jog, then come
Get
home.
down tonight. Dun-dun-dun. Sorry.
Yeah, come home and then I make breakfast, take a shower, walk the dog.
I see. Nope. I get up, take a shower, and usually I'll get up, I'll put the coffee on, take a shower so that the coffee's done when I get out of the shower. And then it's lunches, breakfast. Then I get myself ready while the kids eat. And then I got to take them to school and come home and band stuff. I'm either, creating a e-flyer or calling a venue, booking agents, talent agents that just, touching bases with Craig. Before he even came on, he was like, "Hey, man, is there anything I'm not supposed to talk about tonight?" He's like, "No, we're good. There's everything's out there right now."
I am hoping we get one more of you guys on because I want to do like the.
I was half tempted to get Sean, get him down here because he's fun. If you get him liquored up,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I want the rear view mirror hat trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, get Sean. Yeah, Sean's going to be a better guest for you than Jason. Jason, I love the guy to death, but he'd be a little shy.
That's your singer?
Well, yeah, he's a swell guy and everything. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a powerhouse vocalist.
Oh no, I was gonna say he's
Yeah.
he's hands down the best singer in a cover band I've ever heard.
I know.
And
you're like I know.
I know. I do. Like 20 some odd years ago, I got him in a room, and I knew who he was because he was playing with a cat who owned a bait shop down here. I was dating that guy's daughter, and so somehow the two of us got in a room, and I had an acoustic guitar, and of course, one thing leads to another. We start jamming, and I heard him sing. So I got it to where it's like, oh, you should come out, because my band was looking for a singer at the time, and this was Stone Monkey. Just before Jay Talavera died, he had quit the band and get back to the band, and he quit the band again. Guy had issues. So anyway, I tried to bring Jason in, and he wouldn't do covers. Wouldn't. And it's only now, 20 freaking years later, that he's doing covers. This cat's been doing just original material. And the sad thing is, I mean, they write really decent songs. It's just they never went anywhere with it. It's just, let's go practice. It would turn into let's get drunk, and then nothing would ever come of it.
That's what band practice is for.
No,
That's what we used to do all the time.
no.
When I was in Until They Turn Red, that's what we did. We would go to my buddy's house. Everyone would show up with beer. Someone would. Well, Papa Costa would usually show up with a
How
bottle.
successful was that band? Where is it today?
Well, we actually did pretty well. Actually, we started playing shows pretty consistently, and then people would call us back out to play more, and we had all kinds. We had fans. We started selling T-shirts, and
Speaking of,
I have one of your T-shirts. I got it at the last show, the rearview mirror shirt.
That's
I love
right.
the logo. It is
thank
phenomenal.
you very much.
And you guys are great, by the way. And that's why it's funny that you say that Jason's kind of shy. Because I immediately want to run up and nerd out and go song by song. And I'm sitting there telling him why I like him because he's got this really just a pinch of country a little bit, just a little twang.
Oh yeah,
And it's awesome. I love
that's another reason he and I get along. We are both old school country just fanatics.
And he was like, "Thank you." I'm like, "Oh, you don't really care or what?" He didn't. I thought
He's not used to that. I mean, he's been in a band where before he'd be so freaking hammered that I've heard stories where he would fall off stage and get cut and he would go up and finish the show.
That's punk rock
the
as
blood
fuck.
just gushing out of him. He's really cooled off on that. He doesn't do shows with us, drunk or anything like that. None of us are really, few beers, maybe the occasional joint or something before a show, but nobody's messed up. We're big on practice. We're doing 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh wow!
And it's not we don't drink.
You guys are phenomenal though. You guys are super tight.
That's how you get there.
Yeah, no,
focused
absolutely.
practice.
Yeah.
We have a plan. It's these are the 3 songs we're going to work on this week. So everybody comes in and they've got most of it worked out, and may have an issue with a part or something like that, and then Sean and I'll get together and work that out. And then usually 9 times out of 10 by the end of the night we'll have 2 of the 3 done, ready to go.
Nice.
Put it in the set list. So we're constantly changing out material, and what we call all killer, no filler. So there are a lot of bands in town that I'm not going to mention any names, but they try to be everything to everybody.
I will if you want. I'll name them all.
That's on you, and I want to be supportive of the scene. And every band is awesome because it's a band that's out there putting themselves out playing live music.
Did you just reference an Everclear song?
Did I?
Everything to everyone.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's a
I thought it was on purpose. Sorry.
No. That's it's as far as I see in the local scene here. That's the biggest problem bands have, is that they try to be everything to everybody. So they're going to play some classic rock and a little Garth Brooks, and we're going to get some Pearl Jam in there, and maybe we'll get some Metallica in there too. There's one band that I've seen that can pull it off, and them I'll name. That's Eclipse, and they can segue from some Latin shit right into Metallica, and it is fucking flawless, and that's what makes them good. Other bands, it's okay. We're going to play a Beatles song, and then we're going to play a Limp Bizkit song, and it's just it's all over the damn map.
And
so your crowd that's there, because let's face it, the 60-year plus crowd, they're not going to bars anymore. And
No,
if they
they're not.
are, they're damn sure out of there before the band cranks up.
Yeah.
You know, the only ones that are there are the folks that got no life. It's the guy who comes up to you. I mean, everybody here wants to hear Skinner. Everybody here wants to hear Skinner, man. Y'all ain't playing it. That's happened to me. And I'd say, oh, so you took a poll? You went around and you asked everybody here and they all told you that they want to hear Skinner? Well, no, man, I just know.
You obviously didn't ask that guy because the guy would punch you.
No, I'm on stage. He's down here. But it
and
literally,
he's that drunk.
Every other show it'll happen where some asshole will walk up to the stage and like you're like in the middle of a song and want to have a conversation with you. It's like, I'm working up here, dude. You know, I kind of need to pay attention to this. I got to count to 4. You know what I mean? I got shit to do. But it's getting better. It's getting better because I'm noticing that, one, the audiences it's no longer the hippies. They're done. They're not coming to the bars anymore. It's my people.
Yeah.
You know,
It's me.
The guys who were, folks who, guys, ladies, whoever, folks, people who were in high school and in college in the 90s.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are now empty nesters. Their kids have gone off to college. They're coming back out to the bar scene, and they don't want to hear their dad's music. They want to hear their music. That's why Rearview Mirror is as successful as it is.
I was high school.
That's why.
I was in high school in the 90s. I don't have any kids.
Right.
Am I doing it wrong?
Depends.
No, but I did love you
It
guys.
depends. I've never seen you have sex, nor do I want to, so I don't know what you're doing.
Hold on. Cancel upload. I'm not going to post that on your page.
I really like going to local shows or random shows to go see random bands or whatever, especially if I don't know who they are. I really enjoy it because it's like, okay, maybe I'm going to find something I really like.
Sure.
Or maybe I'm going to learn something.
I always try to go. I go into it with a good attitude. I'm probably the biggest cheerleader and most supportive guy in the local scene because I want every band to be successful. I want every band to get gigs. And I want more venues.
And you go on podcasts, too. It's weird.
I do that. I do that.
As a musician, my biggest judge, my first benchmark of any band is I always judge how tight is the bass player and the drummer. Because especially in a rock band, that is the key element.
You explain this to me. Like relationships of the band members.
Yeah, so like the drums and the bass player have to be on point because the bass is playing harmony at the same time they're keeping time. So, I mean,
Foundation and drive.
Yeah. The drummer's keeping time and the bass is the drive.
Foundation and drive.
If they're not together, the band will be all over the fucking place. The drums and the bass you should not be paying attention to unless they make a mistake. That's the only time they're going to stick out of the track. You're not going to hear it until they make a mistake. If they go flawless and the band sounds great, it was because of the bass player and the drums. Because the guitar, you
can have a mediocre guitar player that you put a good rhythm section behind him, and it's going to make him shine.
Yeah.
And you explained to me that the lead guitar and the singer have a different relationship, but it's more entertaining. It's like you're not going to notice if they fuck up, like either one of them. Yeah.
Because so basically for the guitar, you're not keeping time. You're just playing the melody, and that's the same thing the singer's doing. He's with the vocals. It's more of a melody part. So as long as the drive and the rhythm is there, you can go wild over top of it as long as you're in time.
If you're in tune and in time, there's really not a lot you can't do. And if you look at the best guys, that's all they do. Stevie Ray Vaughan, but look who he had behind him. Jimi Hendrix, but look who had behind him. The list goes on and on and on. Randy Rhoads, look who he had behind him. You pick any guitar hero and look at that rhythm section that was behind him.
And they are every time flawlessly tight. Like, just outstanding. And I was super impressed because when I saw you and Craig play together.
Well, yeah, Craig and I have been working together for years now.
Yeah,
we played. I was a guitar player in 100-pound test with you.
That's right.
And he kind of pulled me into that, and that's what got me back into the music scene. At least I was doing the radio thing for years, and so he pulls me back in like Pacino in Godfather 3.
You love it.
I do.
But I was super impressed because you guys are super, super fucking tight. Like, just phenomenally tight.
That's the practicing 3 times a week.
Point. Like, damn. Like, above expectations. Like, the first time I went out to see you guys, I was like, holy shit. Damn. Like, it didn't matter.
We get that a lot. That's one of the best compliments I ever had was this old, he was the president of the Southern Cross Motorcycle Club. So we're talking a real life, Clay Teller here. I mean,
I just finished that series.
Right, yeah. You were real life Clay Morrow. That's it's Jax Teller, Clay Morrow. So I mean, real life, one percenter kind of dude. This guy bleeds fucking motor oil. We playing up the Glades Club, and this is the first time we'd ever played. And they called us, so it's not like we petitioned them to get this gig, but we weren't turning anything down at this point either. So we go out there, and if you've never been to the Glades Club, let me tell you a little bit about it. It's out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Literally out in the middle of nowhere. Next to some abandoned-ass railroad tracks. It's a little shack that doesn't look like a bar. It looks like it's abandoned. And then in the back of it is like an acre and a half of just open land with a tiki bar, with a wet bar and taps and all that kind of stuff. So all these, literally you could get killed out there. They could dump you, 20 feet away, and you're never going to get found again.
You were never there.
You're done.
You were never there.
Yeah.
So I'm walking into biker land, Sons of Anarchy land, and like, I know we don't play classic rock. We don't play classic rock, and we're going into the fucking lion's den. It's like, okay, if we can pull it off here, we can pull it off anywhere. We got this. So we go in, and the show's great. There was one chick, her name was Lisa, and I love her to death. There's always a Lisa at every show.
I was about to say, there's always a Lisa.
She's the one that's in the back of the room. Play some fucking AC/DC. Why can't you play some fucking Skinner? That chick, I love her. Right? Hold on, Lisa. It's coming up next.
I can hear her voice in my eyes.
So we do the show, and the guy comes up to me. He's like, "Man, gotta tell you something." I was like, "Oh boy, here it comes." You guys are different, but you're fucking good. I was like, that's the best compliment I've ever got.
Definitely not getting stabbed.
Yeah, I'm not going to die tonight because this guy thought, it's like, this is clearly not music in his wheelhouse. But we performed it well enough that he's like, yeah, that's some good shit. I like that. I have no idea who Tool is, but I like that song y'all played. What, Pearl Jelly? Huh? But that fucking Even Flow, man, that was a good song, man. I like that one. Who does that one? And it was really like that. It's like, this guy he's never turned it off, Big 105.9. He knows Paul Castronovo, and what he says is music, and that's it. And so for that dude to, embrace what we did to the point where it's like, this is, out of your wheelhouse. This is not in your comfort zone, but you still dug it. Yeah, man. That's yeah.
Nice.
So that was really cool. So far, that's been the coolest thing that's happened.
They actually do play Pearl Jam on 105.9 now, and I've died a little inside.
Yeah, it's the new classic rock.
I don't call it an oldie so I can punch you in the face.
What?
Are you right? Probably, but I still
Yeah.
want to punch you in the face. Like,
Well, I mean, I worked at Magic. It's now it's the beach.
Oh,
And
is
I was there when the transition happened, and I kept telling listeners. So Magic for the longest time
I grew up
did
on Magic. I love
50s
Magic.
and 60s.
I would fall
That
s-
was it.
Yeah.
You didn't hear disco. You didn't hear the Bee Gees. There was none of that shit. So at some point, and I believe this is right about the time that Lincoln Financial acquired the station, Rick Shaw retires because he couldn't send an email. He couldn't figure out how to work the email. So
I remember Rick Shaw. Holy shit.
Rick was a swell guy, man, and just one of the best DJs in the business back when it was a business worth being in. And he got in at the right time and rode it until the very end. So more power to that dude. Anywho, they changed the format. The oldies changed. So it went from being 50s and 60s and doo-wop and that kind of stuff
Blueberry Hill.
to
Magic Moment.
that kind of stuff.
I used to fall asleep to that station.
To 60s, 70s, and 80s. So they started playing more disco, more Donna Summer, more Michael Jackson.
They play a shit
Incidentally,
ton of, shit ton
Not
of
at all
Michael
related,
Jackson.
one of the
No.
programming rules was that at Magic was they would never have two black artists back to back. Oh, little known secret, little known radio secret there. But the formula worked. It worked. So I would be going out and doing events because they were doing great in the ratings. I'd go out and do events, and you would get these really old people who would come up and like, why don't you play the doo-wop anymore? Why don't you play these old songs? And I was like, do you want me to tell you the truth? I'm like, yeah. I was like, because you're old. Nobody wants to advertise to you anymore. Nobody cares what you think anymore. And they're like, exactly what you just did, where you're like, it's like, oh yeah,
that's
it's
kinda
like,
shitty.
are you ever going to buy a car again? No. It was like, you know what kind of deodorant you're going to be using for the rest of your life? Yeah. Nobody wants to advertise for you
Your
anymore.
your
The only thing we can sell you is reverse mortgages and prepaid funeral. That's it.
Your next doctor's appointment is the autopsy. Like,
Yeah, that's it. And they just, they didn't like hearing that.
Still here, still selling real fake doors.
So that's, that was the, jumping over that. Now the classic rock people, and I love it because the hippies held music hostage for like 35, 40 fucking years. That, okay, this classic rock, this is the golden age of music. This is it. This is the be-all, end-all. It's never been better than this. It'll never be better than this. Look at who we got. The Beatles, Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin, just to name a few. Okay. John Lennon, great guy, right?
ish.
Yeah, remember when Yoko, that he used to beat on her all the time? He also beat on his first wife. And let's not
And his
forget
son.
Julian Lennon, that he just up and left so he could go get him some of that Yoko goodness. All right? Jimmy Page kidnapped and raped a 14-year-old girl. Wrote about it in his autobiography, and nobody lets it go. Clapton admits to being
as fuck.
just a heavy-duty woman beater back in the day.
And wasn't he pretty racist like back in the day?
That and then the heroin use, all that kind of stuff. These guys were not golden gods. They were not here. They were not good people. They weren't. But we were, hold up that Clapton is God, and they were put up on these pedestals and all that. Now the old gods are dying.
Oh, they've died. They've died. They've been dead.
Great, and it's about freaking time, because if I hear Barracuda one more fucking time, somebody's got to die. Somebody's got to fucking die. I mean,
I could pick up the guitar and play the riff right now. If you want.
Of course you can, and I've had to teach it.
Oh, that's painful.
I've had to, dude. I hate Brown Eyed Girl. I hate that song with a fucking passion. But somebody comes up with a $20 bill and wants to hear it. I'm not in the going broke business. I'm in the let's make some money business.
But I learned it for you tonight.
All right. Well, you just hold on to that, all right?
And these gods would have never existed if, the internet was a thing.
Well, no, and the other thing that comes with the internet, physical media is dead.
Sure.
Physical media is out the door. We touched on it a little bit
Well,
earlier.
I mean, even now, like toys. With my daughters, they never play with toys anymore. It's all iPad.
Yeah, iPad.
Dolls, coloring books and art and that kind of stuff, they'll still do that. But as far as my youngest, she likes these things that are what are the LOLs, or what they're called. And it's basically you unwrap it, and then but layer by layer you get a little pair of sunglasses. Oh, and do another a sticker. And that's what it is. It's the unwrapping that they're selling you.
Yeah.
And she's all about that. Now, as soon as she's unwrapped it, that shit's on the floor. It's, boom, she's on to the next thing.
You can throw it away. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's the beauty of LOLs. Wouldn't you know it? They're so conveniently done that there's 1,000,006 of them, and they're releasing a new series every 15 minutes. There's a new set of them that are coming out. And my daughter, I don't know how, she doesn't have an email, but this girl will sit down and it's okay, Series 6 has this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. And I guess, it's kind of the same as when we were growing up, they had G.I. Joes or Transformers or something, and, there's 1,000,005 names, but you knew them all.
This is actually sounding very much like when I would buy the Marvel card series 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Sure.
I knew which one I had by the number. Yeah, all this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my nephew, he just turned 6, and he doesn't have. I mean, he's got a shit ton of toys, but he doesn't really play with any of them. He plays with the iPad. And he plays with. We got him the Nintendo Switch for his birthday. He's all about the Nintendo Switch now. But for Christmas last year and his birthday, he goes on YouTube, and they have videos of people unwrapping presents and and
my kids watch that's the
stuff.
LOLs.
Yeah, and he watches these things. So then when it comes time for birthday, Christmas, get him something for whatever, it's like, hey, what do you want? And he'll go and he'll pull up the video and go, I want this one. And it's like, I want this exact toy with this thing, this is exactly it. Like, oh, okay.
Okay.
You just made it easy.
I guess.
All right.
Yeah, my kids, they want us to get them the iPad, the cards, so they can get skins
Oh, yeah.
for their games, that kind of thing. I've never seen anything like it.
It's crazy.
That girls that don't play with dolls Or no, I guess they do play with dolls, but the dolls are now zeros and ones.
Yeah, the digital.
So they're still doing the doll clothes, but now they're skins. So I guess maybe it is the same sort of thing.
I
But
had all the Ninja Turtles.
there you go. But you knew all their names, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. I had the fucking pizza shooter thing that actually shot these little round plastic pizzas.
The pizzas, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
By the way, never go back and watch that cartoon. It's horrible.
Yeah, it
does
doesn't
not
hold
age
up.
Oh,
well.
you can't go back. I went and tried to go back and watch Voltron with my kids.
no.
Some stuff's still good. Like the 90s Batman's still good.
Yeah, the
That,
90s
yeah,
Batman.
that one, the Batman animated series, that will last forever.
Yeah.
That's up there with the old the 50s Supermans that they did. That were
No, I watched something on YouTube. Like it was kind of like a high rate reel from that, and
Yeah.
it was still really good.
yeah, they're great. I mean, it looks retro as hell.
Oh, yeah.
But because it looks retro as hell, it plays. It's the guys with the double-breasted suits and the fedoras and the whole thing. It's great. Well, boys, I think that's the show. We've run out of shit to talk about.
Could you sound more like
he hates-
Paul Young Ron? What?
He hates the moment of silence. That's why I didn't say anything. I just going to let it ride as long as possible because I knew it was going to get under his skin.
Because you can't do that on radio.
No, you can't. We can do that here. We have,
It's a quick way to lose listeners. After that 30 seconds, they're already reaching for, and especially with you guys, I mean, it's just a matter of click off.
No. For that 30 seconds, they probably looked at their phone going, "What happened to the volume? What happened to the volume? What the fuck?"
What's wrong with my phone?
And then we start talking again. And they go, "Oh,
Because people actually listen to us on purpose, whereas the radio is just there. Like,
yeah."
Yeah, I guess that's true. Nobody's going to find you fuckers by accident. You got to go looking.
Yeah. Well, you know who we went looking for? Schnebley's Winery.
oh damn it, I mentioned it earlier.
And we haven't mentioned it all show. So I started doing this thing where we've been plugging Schnebley's Winery.
Yeah.
They're not paying us.
Okay.
And we're not brought to you by them, but maybe one day we will be.
Who knows?
Schnebley's Winery is awesome.
And
They should call Craig about booking Review Mirror out there.
That would not be a bad idea. Actually,
I can see that wine with your pinky up and a little 90s grunge and alt rock.
I'm on their email list. I just got an email from them. They have a sale going on. If you buy 6 bottles, you get 6 bottles 50% off.
Wow. So it's buy 6 get 6 half off.
Yeah, and they have karaoke Fridays at the winery.
They have bands out there. They've
Yeah,
had
they do,
Eclipse. They've had a couple. I think the Dropouts have played out there.
Yeah, they got and they have prime rib Fridays for $15.
they have food too.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know they had food.
$15 prime rib
prime rib?
Fridays.
That's not bad for prime rib.
No, it is not. Y'all should check out the winery, like their social media, and then tell them you heard it from us.
And then tell them to sponsor the Band Practice Podcast.
Yeah, so that's the thing we've been doing every episode for. I think we've been doing it like 5 or 6 episodes now.
Since Gmail.
Have you showed up there like you're supposed to do a remote? Just show up.
No, we haven't. We've been thinking about that. Just show up down there, and just start talking to everybody, and tell them we heard it from our podcast.
All right, tell them you're from the podcast and you're here. You're here to do the live remote. Donna set it up.
Donna set it up.
There's always a Donna.
And I found in life, if you don't ask and you just do, you're amazed at what you can get.
What
get
are
away
you
with.
here for? We're doing a podcast from Schnebley's Winery, to talk about the wine and the events that you guys have.
Donna
What a
didn't tell
wonderful
you?
establishment.
Donna, did
Listen,
you-
you haven't spoken to Don about this?
Donna hasn't talked to you.
There you go. So you're already on board.
Donna
right?
hasn't talked to you.
and then you keep setting up. And then,
I am
and you
so
keep setting up.
sorry. All right, listen, Donna was supposed to call. I don't know what the breakdown was, but here's what's happening.
And then she goes and finds Donna. And you keep setting up.
And we just start recording.
Yeah.
Then you start doing your thing, and you just do you do it in your best wine voice. We're at Schnebley's. We're enjoying a nice Chablis. It's just delightful.
I need a wine voice that hot.
Yeah, right?
I had a fella in the store the other day told me I was the smoothest sounding white man. This is a gay black fella.
Of course he was gay.
Oh yeah,
course, of
it's just, my thing was bald, except he had like off to the side this little crown of hair, like a little 3-tiered crown of hair, growing off to the side, like a little like you would see a clown wear.
Okay.
All right, but his was actual hair growing out of his head that he grew like this on purpose,
Nice.
and with the ghetto lisp. He's so smooth for a white man. It's like, well, thank you. That's very nice of you.
It was really weird. I went and I didn't know how to take this. I was at I think it was Macy's, and I had to buy a new shirt and tie. I forget. Me and the wife were doing something family related. I think one of her sisters was getting married or a baby was having a baptism or something,
Sure.
some whatever. And I go there and get the shirt, and I'm in line, and the dude at the counter, gay black dude, he comes up and he's like, "Oh, whatever." He's like, "You should get this color shirt instead." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "It'll look better on you." I was like, "All right, I don't give a fuck. Let's get that color then." So I got that color, and he's like, "Hold on, turn around." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, holds the shirt up to my back. He's like, "This one will fit you." I was like, "Okay, cool, let's do this." And then he's like, "You remind me of a young Robert Redford."
Whoa.
and I'm there with my wife, and she starts laughing, and she's like, she looks at me, she's like, I never thought about that. You just said it. And I was like, who the fuck is Robert Redford?
That's 3 Days of the Condor, man.
I was like,
He was in Captain
3
America:
Days of the
Civil
Condor.
War.
He was,
I know who he is.
Spy, was the one he did with Brad Pitt?
Oh, that was good. Oh, fuck.
yeah, I know who he is now.
Sneakers. That's a good one.
Sneakers.
That's a good one with Sidney Poitier. And a young River Phoenix before he kicked the croak and died at the Viper Club that Johnny Depp owned at the time. What, did I say all that out loud?
It's on VH1 behind the whatever. Like,
Behind the whatever?
yeah.
Yeah, that he died at the Viper Club. Nobody
Yeah.
mentions that Johnny Depp owned it at the
I knew
time.
that.
It was the go-to spot for the heroin chic crowd.
And Dan Aykroyd was in Sneakers too, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was great in that.
Absolutely.
That's right up there as with Ghostbusters as far as
He's still alive and not doing anything, and that kind of bothers me.
No, he's involved with the House of Blues. That's him.
No, but I haven't seen him. I want to see him on a screen somewhere.
Oh,
Isn't it
there's
him
talk about a new
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I heard he's championing it.
And he
now.
does a radio show. He does the
But
Blues
he's-
Brothers radio show on satellite radio every week. So I mean, he's still out there working, still producing stuff. Didn't he in like a lot of the Happy Gilmore type movies?
Yeah. I thought he was really pushing for the Ghostbusters thing to happen.
I thought they were all kind of like leaving that alone because
But
Harold
Harold Ramis is dead.
is gone. Like, and have you
You're
actually
gonna do it without Egon.
have you seen the actual all female one? Yeah, I've seen it, and I'm like, you can physically feel that Harold Ramis was not involved. Like there's points and there's lines of dialogue where you're like, that would have been awesome, but unfortunately, Harold Ramis is
No,
dead.
it's reductive. It didn't need to be done.
No.
You know what needs to happen is Disney just needs to buy it, and then they can
Then they get it done right. They give it to the Marvel people.
and they'll just do it, and they'll just digitally put Egon in.
Yes, bring him back as a fucking ghost.
Yeah, just done. That's
I
it.
think we just wrote the movie there, boys. That's the premise. Egon comes back to warn the other dudes about something, and they've got to work with the ghost to bust the other ghosts. But at the end, it means that they got to send Egon on too.
There it is.
And boom.
I'm already crying.
Yeah, I already feel an emotion. I already feel an
Hearts and
emotional
minds.
You
connection.
son of a bitch. Then we have to watch
It's
Hail
the
Raimi
feel-good
die.
hit
Yeah.
of the summer.
Holy shit, that's a great premise. Disney, get on your shit.
Where you at? The name's Wes. Give me a call. All right. That's what I do. Come up with ideas. Well, boys, is that about it? Have we done it? Have we done the podcast?
You ready to go, huh?
Yeah, I'm getting tired. It's about that time.
Okay, fair enough. So, any final thoughts?
Don't be a douche.
Don't be a douche.
Aw.